Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the invisible machinery behind flight comparison engines and, way more importantly, how you can actually use them to save some serious money. If you're looking to travel smarter, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break down the highly complex data systems that power the global travel industry, and we'll show you how to turn all that chaos into a clear advantage for your next booking. Let's dive in.
Okay, so here's our flight plan for today. We'll start with the common booking headache, then look right under the hood at what happens behind the search button. Next, we'll explain why fares constantly change, see why your location changes absolutely everything, and finally, wrap up with mastering the search.
All right, Section 1, the flight booking headache, making sense of the chaos.
We've all been there, right? Juggling 5 different tabs in a massive digital maze. But seriously, let me ask you, have you ever watched a flight price jump literally right before your eyes? You think you've snagged this fantastic deal, but before you can even type in your credit card number, the page refreshes and boom, the fare just vanishes. It leaves you wondering if the system is secretly tracking your every move or if you're just doing something fundamentally wrong. To get why this happens, you kind of have to realize what you're actually using. Comparison engines are Metasearch tools. Basically, they search the searchers. The engine doesn't actually have a warehouse full of airplane tickets. Instead, think of it as a super-fast research assistant that runs down every single aisle of the global travel shop all at once. It just connects the dots and then directs you elsewhere to actually process your payment.
Moving on to Section 2, behind the search button, the invisible machinery.
Let's pull back the curtain on those incredible 3 seconds right after you hit search. Your query shoots out to 3 main places: global distribution systems, direct airline APIs, and online travel agencies, or OTAs. The engine pulls all that messy, raw data back, converts the currencies, strips out the duplicates, and then ranks the itineraries for you. It is a massive technological feat, and it happens literally in the blink of an eye.
Now this is wild. Just 3 massive global distribution systems, or GDS, operate as the invisible backbone of commercial aviation. You've got Amadeus sitting at about 40% market share, Sabre at 35%, and Travelport with 22%. These platforms, they've actually been around since the 1960s. Whenever an airline updates a fare, it ripples through these systems to every connected travel agent and booking site globally in just minutes.
But here's the catch with those old systems. They were built for simple point-to-point tickets, not modern stuff like bag fees and seat upgrades. That's why a newer standard called NDC, New Distribution Capability, is gradually taking over. It lets airlines push personalized, bundled offers directly to your comparison engine. Now, it's a slow rollout, accounting for just 2.3% of global sales in 2023, but it is fundamentally changing how travel data flows.
Section 3. Why fares constantly change. Dynamic pricing.
If you've ever felt like the pricing algorithm is actively out to get you, consider this number: 200. That is the staggering number of times per day algorithms reprice fares on major routes. It's crazy. Every flight is divided into these things called fare buckets. When the cheapest bucket sells out, the next one opens up at a higher price. Depending on competitor activity and exactly how many seats are left, the airline systems are making adjustments constantly.
So because these engines are chewing through so much data globally, they sometimes show you a cached or slightly delayed price. If somebody else snags the very last seat in that cheap fare bucket while you're clicking through to the checkout page, the price jumps. The airline isn't tracking your IP address to punish you, I promise. It's just the harsh reality of real-time inventory.
And hey, that brings us to a huge myth that traps so many travelers. The engine's displayed total, it's often just the absolute bare minimum cost to get your body on the plane. The actual final price hits you later with all those unbundled extras. Baggage fees, seat selection, credit card surcharges, they all get tacked on at the end. The comparison engine finds the baseline, for sure, but you've got to read the fine print to know what you're actually paying for.
All right, Section 4. Your location changes everything. Regional differences.
The absolute best comparison engine for you depends entirely on where you're sitting right now. Europe demands really strong, low-cost carrier coverage because of airlines like Ryanair. North America, well, it has massive blind spots. For instance, Southwest Airlines historically refused to share its data. Out in the Asia-Pacific region, local engines will surface regional carriers that global engines completely miss. You absolutely have to match your tool to your territory.
Now, for our viewers booking from or within India, listen up because this is crucial.
Global engines like Google Flights will actually hide the best deals from you. Why? Because the lowest net price in India almost always comes from hidden, bank-specific credit card discounts that are only available directly on local OTAs like Make My Trip. The global engines just cannot see these local financial tie-ups.
Finally, Section 5. Mastering the Search, the Ultimate Playbook.
Okay, we know exactly how the machine works. Now, let's beat it. By executing a simple 2-engine playbook before you book, you can consistently save big. First, start with Google Flights for speed and context. Second, cross-check those dates on Skyscanner to catch budget carriers Google might have missed. Third, check local OTAs for those credit card discounts. And finally, always verify the airline's direct website for web-exclusive fares. Takes 5 minutes, delivers massive savings.
Want to supercharge that playbook? You've got to use the advanced tools. Look at month-long flexible date calendars. Shifting your flight from a Saturday to a Tuesday can easily save you hundreds. Set up price alerts early, check the price history to make sure it's actually a deal, and definitely try open jaws searches, which is flying into one city and out of another to bypass expensive hub fees. It's like a giant puzzle, and these tools give you the corner pieces.
But I do have to give you a quick warning here. Where you book completely dictates your consumer protections. Remember, comparison engines just find the price. If you book a cheap self-transfer ticket through a random OTA, patching together 2 separate airlines, and your first flight is delayed, you have 0 automatic protection for that second flight. For complex, high-stakes trips, booking direct with the airline is almost always the safer bet.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, you now understand the underlying GDS networks, the reality behind real-time dynamic pricing, and the exact playbook you need to leverage multiple platforms to your advantage. So next time you search for a flight, will you just settle for the very first price you see, or will you command the invisible travel matrix? Use these tools, cross-check your data, and go travel smarter. Until next time, keep learning.